Hello, Cindy here. I am so excited to dive into the top 3 ways that men test women. And yes, they do. We actually all test each other, just in life, friendships, getting to know one another, and it's subconscious and conscious. So today we're going to discuss the top 3 ways that men actually test you when they're starting to date you and looking to possibly transition into a relationship with you. So the number one way a man will test a woman is they're going to test they're going to test your values. And I don't mean that in a sense that your values are better than theirs, their values are better than yours, but they're going to see what you value and if it aligns. So for example, maybe he has a big family, he's really close to them, and they tend to do a lot of family gatherings. So he invites you along and he wants to see how you interact with his family. Do you talk to them? Are you curious? Do you just jump right in? Or are you kind of sitting off to the side? Now, either way, it's not good or bad. It's just he wants to see how you are going to interact. It's the same thing if, he has a group of friends and they're super close to him and he's very, he wants to know how you fit in with them, how you get along with them. If he feels like you connect with them, right? So what do you like when you're with his friends or family? Are you stuck like glue to him the whole time? Or if something doesn't go your way, are you, pouting and upset? Or do you just go with the flow, right? A man wants to see how you are. What's your way of being in these types of environments? They want to know. So the number one thing they'll do, they'll test your values, they'll test character. So they'll definitely try to get you into environments where they can see how you interact with things that are important to them. And that could be anything, you guys. It could be anything from, maybe he's really passionate about, BMX racing bikes, and what do you like when he takes you to one of those? Or, it could be anything. So, and he may do this more than once to see how it is, to see how it flows, to make sure that this would be, this might really work. Now, this isn't necessarily always a sticking point. It's part of the way that men will test you. They won't necessarily tell you, oh, I really am seeking a woman that is an extrovert, that can socialize really easily with my family, doesn't need me to be right next to her. He's not necessarily going to tell you that. He's just going to put you in the situation. Okay, so that's one. The second one is, so this one can be controversial. And so the second one he's going to test is your character. So for example, let's just say you're dating online, you're meeting people online, you go for the first meeting, the meet and greet. He wants to know, are you going to offer to pay? Are you, how do you show up? Or are you going to share what your values are around that? Now, typically, most, not all men, but, depending on who they are, what they're thinking, what their values are. The first one is kind of like a meet and greet, right? So much of the time, a man will offer to pay for your coffee or lunch or dinner, whatever. I wouldn't say that it's a deal breaker if he does not. A man sometimes will test, is she going to offer to pay? Is she, how is she showing up? Does she have the expectation, entitlement that I will pay? And a lot of men are looking for, is she going to contribute in some way? Is she going to bring value to the table? What kind of value does she bring to the table? Men definitely want to know that, especially a man that is, high value. He's looking for a partnership. So something that I recommend, as you're getting to know each other, maybe you guys go out on your first couple of dates, and then, on the third date, maybe you guys meet for drinks and dinner, and you buy the drinks, or, he takes you to dinner and you buy dessert, or, you know what I mean? So he wants to know, are you going to contribute? What is your character like? Do you expect him to do things? Or is it a synergy of, yes, I value chivalry. Yes, I like to be valued and taken care of. However, I'm going to show up and, buy something, or, be a part of this process without taking away from him courting you. So a lot of men will look at that. They look for the ebb and flow, the give and take, are you showing up in a capacity that is a participant, or are you leaning back? Are you a taker? So he wants to know that. Now, sometimes we can get into the place of being too giving too early on, and that definitely neutralizes the attraction. So he wants to know, how are you showing up, and how gracious are you after the date? So, something that I coach my clients around, at the end of the date, you want to be exuberant. You want to be like, gosh, thank you so much. I had such an amazing time. Or even if, this isn't somebody that you want to see again, thank you so much. I really enjoyed getting to know you. This has been lovely. And I just so appreciate, the dinner, the halibut was amazing. You were so right. Be over the top thankful. One, men like to know that you're grateful, not expect it, right? Especially a man of higher value, a man that you want to bring into your life. So, and if you do want to see him again, gosh, thank you. I sure had an amazing time. I just loved, the ambient, whatever, pick something out. You pick such great places, smile on your face. I really hope we get to do this again. I look forward to the next time. You let him know, you give him a clear signal, yes, and thank you. Yes, and thank you. I don't recommend this, and my research shows it goes 50-50 either way. A lot of women will send a text after the date. If you've said thank you exuberantly like that, I don't believe that a text afterwards is necessary. Some men look at it as, a thank you note. That's a kind gesture. However, you get to check your motives. If you're someone that gets a little bit uncomfortable being exuberant, but don't let this be your get out of jail free card. it's a practice to be that way. Then go ahead and send the thank you. Gosh, I had such a great time. Thank you so much. What a great restaurant. What great company. And I sure hope I get to see you again. Or I look forward to the next time. That gives him the opening. And men really do look for those things. Those are ways that he tests you. He wants to know, what is she going to do? Does she act entitled? And the other thing men really look for too, and this is the way they test, they look for your engagement. Are you distracted? Do you seem like lights are on, nobody's home? I used to say that I were man repellent, right? And part of that was because I would be on a date, I'd be smiling, it'd be great, and I would literally be daydreaming of our future life together when I didn't even know this guy. So really staying present and connected to your conversation, repeating back to what I heard you say is this, or gosh, I really appreciated that you shared about this, tell me more, asking questions, being interested. Now, and know that this is reciprocal too. Men test that. You could be the most beautiful supermodel looking woman on the planet. If you're not engaged, a man is not going to be as interested because he doesn't think he has a chance. And he doesn't feel as interested in you because you're stonewalling him, right? Makes sense? So that is the second way. The third way is, I call it a sense of equality. So equality is connecting on an authentic level, kind of like what I was just sharing about. Are you authentic? Are you able to be vulnerable? Are you able to laugh at yourself? A man really wants to know that you can be you and you're not trying to just be the perfect version of you, right? So the next thing that a man really desires. So through this testing, he really desires your authenticity. Your authenticity. Hey, Laura, it's so good to see you. Gosh, I was just thinking about you. So what does authenticity mean, right? Because I think that word is really thrown around a lot. And let me know if you hear it a lot and you're like, all right, well, I think I'm being authentic. Well, here's the key, guys. You're not putting him on a pedestal. You might be going, Cindy, well, I don't think I do. Well, imagine when you are getting to know a man, maybe you're attracted to him, you've got these juicy ideas, all these really yummy feelings, right? Are you putting him on a pedestal? Are you putting him above you? Or are you putting him like best friend energy? Imagine if your best girlfriend was across from you, would you be putting her on a pedestal thinking, oh gosh, she's so amazing. She probably does this better than I do. She probably curls her eyelashes the right way or does this. No, you're going to be thinking, she puts on her pants the same way I do. We're great friends. You're going to laugh at yourself. You're going to be real. And you're going to share things on a real raw level. So when you have him in front of you, imagine he's like your best friend. And, men really desire for you to laugh at your flaws as well as the things that you do well, that vulnerability piece. And if you screw up, you screw up. So that is the key right there. That's what they desire. They desire to feel, equal to you. They desire to respect you as well as to be respected and not feel like you're trying to hold everything in or put on an act. And society has taught us, oh, you've got to look your best and do all that. Sure, look your best, feel good, of course. However, if you get to practice the ability to just be you, and the right man, the wrong man won't, the right man's going to love your way of being, enjoy being with you, and like your authenticity because they sense it. It's kind of like you might sense it from a guy. You might think in the back of your head, if something just doesn't feel quite right or quite comfortable, it might be because he's holding something back. He's not being fully authentic, or you're feeling certain things, right? It's kind of like if somebody, one of the two of you is dredging up the past a lot. Oh, my ex did this, or my ex did that. Even if it's a good reference, you don't want to hear all about the past. You want to be in the present. And a man, a higher value man that's looking for a real connected partnership is looking for someone that's going to be in the present, happy, connected to herself, connected to them, and really in this place of building, developing, and growing. And for a woman that's not afraid to express who she is, what her values are, and secretly, really secretly, and not so secretly, men love women that set boundaries, that really do value themselves. So if something doesn't feel right, you get curious about it, or if you feel like he's crossing the line. So this is something that I see really often, and I touched on this last week, but I want to dive into this just one more time really quick before I let you guys go. Sometimes men will test you sexually. What are your boundaries? How soon will you sleep with them? If they're really attracted to you, they may try, or depending on where he's at and what he's truly looking for. He might even try to guilt you through sex. Well, I'm not going to wait too long to have sex. And, truth be told, if it's the right type of man and he's really valuing you, he really wants what you want, he's going to wait for as long as you say to do that. And if, a way that a man will manipulate, so this is a red flag, and they'll try to test you, is if he tries to guilt you sexually. Well, I'm not going to wait forever because, it's really important to test drive the automobile before you actually purchase it. If the guy makes you feel guilty or attempts to do this several times, he could say that, in a manner and then say, obviously, when the timing's right, when you're comfortable, that's a different story. And, but if you feel this like subtle, I'm trying to guilt you or maybe shame you, then that's something to take a look at, because this is your body. This is what you get to value. And you get to move forward in these areas when you feel comfortable. And something I coach my women around, you want to move forward slower than what you even want to, because our bodies, our brains react when we're really attracted to someone. So it takes time to get to see everything that's underneath who he is, what he really values, what he wants. However, and I teach what's called the Fabulous Five. So if he seems to possess those, over the first 3 months, you get to see what, how high is his meter on certain things? Does he really value what you value. So as much as he tests you, you test him. So I hope this helps you guys. Put in the comments below, yes, this helps. You know, I loved, if you have any questions, you know, I'd love to know this. I'd love to know more about what, you know, what he values. Let me know below. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and like us if you like this video, and just click the subscribe button so you can see all of my almost daily videos, and you can just hit the little bell symbol, and that'll alert you of any new videos that we put out for you. So sending lots of love. Thank you so much, and I will see you all really, really soon. Bye.